So something that's really cool is that we cover these top 10 lists weekly. This is our new thing now, thanks to CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. And something fun that they do with their top 10 is they include honorable mentions every week. There's 2 of them. But we don't cover those on a weekly basis because those 2 extra books are typically kind of like, one-offs. A lot of golden age stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some cool older books on the honorable mention list, and it's not necessarily going to be the thing that spiked because of a Netflix series. It's more of something you should keep your eye out for because this is moving. It is moving up slowly or it is moving up quickly, but these are definitely some things that would be awesome to have in your collection regardless.
So we're going to do once a month for the entirety of the month, just the honorable mentions. And we're going to start this list off with Legend of Oz, The Wicked West, Volume 2, Number 1, Natalie Sanders variant, Detroit Fanfare. This is a gorgeous cover, and it's for that reason why this one is spiked, because we're seeing this go for between 120 to 150.
As the comment says, wonder why this is a $120 to $150 book. And pretty much any fanboy, put a gorgeous woman on the cover, paint her to make her look pretty, give her fewer clothes. People will probably pay extra money for it.
And they are. Yeah. And they are. And this is a 1 in 300 variant, so super scarce. And this is a top list of 8. Moving on to number 7.
This is an arbitrary list that we have no idea.
There's no number to this. This is just all the ones that happen. Right. So going in at number 7, Shadow Comics, number 1, Volume 8. This is some gold.
Yeah, this is some golden age comics, and it's a fantastic representation of what a Black Cat cover should look like, and definitely one of the most iconic Black Cat covers ever.
That negative space would make Mignola proud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's very, very cool. I can only imagine the people at the comic company going, "Why'd you make us use so much black ink?" They're upset because they're through the roof. We're running out of black ink.
You say. A 9.2. Going for $3,800. Man, can you imagine? How does a 9.2 of that book even exist?
Yeah, file copies exist.
It gives me the tingles.
Companies that went out of business during the 1950s because of the seduction of the innocent and all of the other things that happened there. There are just a lot of these golden age companies that went out of business or folded or got somewhere else. And file copies were literally kept in file cabinets. And sometimes they were in museums, sometimes in storage. So a lot of times you'll end up seeing the Harvey file copies got opened and you get these 9.8 Dennis the Menace books. So when you see some golden age books like this, it's either some guy that read it once and then kept it in mothballs in steamer trunk for 75 years, or it's literally the company went out of business and they just happened to have a manila folder with these that never got touched.
Ooh, I like to daydream that those exist still and that they're out there just waiting to be hunted.
Not on the West Coast. That's the problem.
Yeah,
they're all in New York.
Here. All on the East Coast.
I know. Got to move back to Buffalo.
That's true. Moving on to number 6.
Your aunt's got an extra room, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah. Moving on to number 6. This is Batman Incorporated number 8. I've been buying up Batman Incorporated 8 since this came out. This is a great book. This is a minor key.
The series of Batman Incorporated number 8, no spoilers because it was 5 or 6 years ago, they killed Damian.
Yeah, and he comes back in that same run.
And he does, and there's the whole resurrection and Requiem and all of the other things that happen. So it was kind of cool, but this is a 1 in 25 variant. And a lot of the variants in this run are cool, but really, this is just one of the best looking ones. Mm-hmm. It's affordably priced. It's around $50. Would be perfect in your collection. And again, every time they do something new with Damian, I always have to flash back and go, oh yeah, they did kill him in Batman Incorporated number 8.
That happened.
Right? That was a thing.
All right, moving on to number 6, Venus number 9. Warner Roth. All right, this is a cool book. This is a Golden Age classic. A 7.5 went for $1,500. Ooh, the last graded copy, according to CBSI, was a 9.0 that went for $1,000. So this is a great example of a book that's, you can't really monitor it on a large scale because of its scarcity, but when it does sell, it makes an impact to its value because they're so scarce.
Right.
I mean, that's a huge spike. $500 and over 2 points on the grading scale.
So again, with the Golden Age stuff, the market is going to bear what the market is going to bear. Overstreet has its price guide. CGC has its recent sales. But quite honestly, if it's something like a bondage cover or an iconic thing, or if it's got some type of special ray gun, or if it's, it's an Art Williamson cover or a Frank Frazetta cover, you get someone who's a really iconic Wally Wood, something like that, people are going to pay multiples. If you have Hitler on the cover getting punched in the face or something, you are absolutely going to see someone pay, oh, it's $2,000 guide. I'm going to pay $5,000 for it because that's how much I want to see Superman slap a Jap. I mean, that's the type of thing. You get these things that you cannot print nowadays. So you get some of these World War II type things, or these risque covers of some woman tied up in bondage with a skeleton trying to decapitate her. I mean, this pre-code awesome Golden Age stuff that people are just willing to pay 250% of guide for.
Right. And you say slap a jot because that's literally on the comic book.
That's literally on the cover.
We have to make sure to notate that.
It is
I'll make sure it's on the screen.
Yes, it's absolutely an Action Comics, and it's just one of those things that because of the way that, other countries were derided, and we were at war with the entire world at that point in time.
Moving on to number 5, Marvel Tales number 1. This is funny because, you know what? John, shout out Hills of Comics, he mentions this too, because I've listed a bunch of these for him, that these are like super low print, and it's a key. This is something that sells at conventions.
It's so weird. So Marvel Tales, Tails, first appearance of Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider-Ham. In the last year, I have sold 3 runs of Peter Porker Spectacular Spider-Ham. A lot of these Marvel, a lot of these Star Comics stuff, when you get Wally, you get the Smurfs, you get, Heathcliff, you get Alf. These kid-type comics, they just sold to kids, were treated by kids. They were ripped up and ruined by kids. The kids filled out the crossword puzzles. They, filled out the subscription form in the back. So you have something like this. If you get them in high grade, what it says, a 9.8 is $300 to $500 for this
That's
book.
Crazy.
I mean, and I sold a run 1 through 14 of the actual, not Marvel Tales, but the actual Peter Porker Spider-Ham run, 1 through 14. I put it up $150 free shipping, and I'm thinking there's no way I'll have to accept offers on it. Bought it now, sold it to Germany within 24 hours of listing.
Great. To Germany.
Right. I mean, like someone else.
What's the shipping on that?
I have no idea.
$40?
It was ridiculous. But yeah, when it went through the global shipping, so he paid eBay for the shipping, and I just shipped it to Kansas or, Kentucky or whatever it was. But someone bought it and it went quickly. So these books are surprisingly hot. You could probably pick them up in quarter bin and dollar bins and half price books. If you know
keep
what
an
you're
eye
looking
out
for, definitely.
All right, moving on to number 4. This is great. Moving on, Ghost Comics number 2.
So the writer Drew Murdoch, artist is Maurice Whitman. A VG copy sold this week for over $1,400, and it says guide says $200. Again, it's the type of thing where you have a scared woman, there's some type of spectre-y type thing floating behind her, and it's just a really super cool, creepy, pre-code horror cover. These pre-code horror books, they're not making more of them. The relative scarcity, people are willing to pay. I mean,
They pay what they want.
7 times guide. 7 times guide for this book. And
This
it's
is
because
art,
they
people.
want it.
This is art.
It absolutely is.
Love it.
You've got these people with disposable income that are just going to throw in. I've had a friend who has gotten Golden Age books. The covers have been laminated, and it's still sold for twice guide.
Yeah, if it exists, people are going to want it.
People want it.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, and then wrapping up this list with our most recent top 10 video, which was released on Friday last week. Look out for the next video coming up this weekend. Moving on for the last 2 honorable mentions of July, which were featured on the last Friday top 10 hot comics that we do every week. We do it weekly, Russ. They have to hit the notification bell.
I know they have to know that this is happening every week.
Because we're going to be doing another one this week because it happens every week.
Our hot comics lists come out on Friday, but we are releasing content between 5 and 7 days a week. So if you like what you're hearing and like what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe. Go check out Comic Book Speculation Investing, comicbookinvest.com. This is where the list is coming from, and we're just really happy to be sharing this with them.
Moon Knight number 25.
Moon Knight number 25, super cool because we got first Black Spectre.
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh my God, this awesome black cover. But doing a little bit of research for this, find out that there is actually an error of this that's going on eBay. So this book, honorable mention, is going for about $20 to $50, but there's actually a version where a white dot is in the middle of this blackness that Mr. Bill S. has decided to give to us. And we're looking at the error print is selling for $75 to $100.
for one little dot.
For one little white dot.
Do you think it was him, or do you think it was just a printing error?
I'm sure it was a printing error, but
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, at this point in time,
Probably printing error.
If we have a printing error, be careful for people who might be removing that dot, who might be adding liquid paper to it, who might be bleaching a dot just to be able to make their $25 comic a $75 comic.
Ooh, that's a really good point. I mean, it's a dope cover.
We have counterfeit Magic cards coming to the store from time to time, and people are counterfeiting cards that are $10 to $20. So watch out for comic books.
All right, and then our last one on the list, Wings comic number 89, Golden Age Bondage Classic. You kind of foreshadowed this.
Yeah, we love these bondage covers. Whenever you see something that is tied up or a woman that has she's in peril.
Helpless.
I know, absolutely. So CGC 8.5 went for $2,500, and guide on this is about $900. So we're looking at almost 3 times. And a lot of it is, if you look at your CGC labels, a lot of time it will say bondage cover or decapitation cover or gouged eyeball.
Hitler cover, skull cover,
Right.
something like that.
But it lets you know that that's the reason why this book spiked. You could very well see Wings Comics number 88 and Wings Comics number 90, and number 88 has a, scarecrow on it, and number 90 has a, sunflower on it. But number 89, because it's got a woman tied up in bondage to
3 times.
3 times guide.
It's insane.
CBSI actually had mentioned this on their Hot Comics of the Week. I was unaware of this book, and Amazing Spider-Man number 245.
We've all seen this book.
Everyone has seen this book.
If you're a dealer and you buy and sell comics, I know you've seen this book. I want to know in the comment section if this is news to you. Because when Russ said this, my stomach dropped because I've owned this book. Mm-hmm. And I've never noticed this.
I have 5 copies of this book at the shop. I went through my back issue books. Number 245, you see him ripping off the mask, and you see the back
ASM.
of the... Yeah, ASM number 245. There is a Bubblicious insert that is apparently really low print run. A graded 9.8 went for about $30 of the regular book. A raw with the Bubblicious insert went for $95, and they are going for even more. There aren't that many listed on eBay, but when I went through my back issues, I did find one. So check your ASM 245s. If you find the Bubblicious insert, it's worth a good amount of money. Please let us know if you find one. This book blew my mind.
We're literally making podcasts about the Bubblicious insert in a comic book.
We've
love
done
it, man.
Mark
We've done
Jewelers.
worse.
We're doing Bubblicious inserts. I mean,
This is where you got it. This is where else are you going to get this content?
Right.
This is where it's happening right here on the Bags and Boards podcast. We do appreciate your time.
Yeah, you must geek responsibly.
Enough said. If you want to get merch, help support the podcast, you can go to geekstreet101.com.